These are unique eats.
You say comfort, I say the meatball shop.
The menu, I think, is one of the most unique parts of being there.
It's like meatball-rific.
You say comfort, I say bark hot dogs.
This is the perfect hot dog.
Okay, so this guy has a secret weapon.
The only thing he's not doing, which he should, is selling that stuff by the tubful.
I'd buy it.
I'd buy it.
Shake Shack is everything comfort should be.
You know that game when people say, what would be the last thing you would want to eat before you die? I think I'd have to go with a really great burger.
You say comfort, I say buttermilk channel.
Buttermilk Channel has the best fried chicken and waffles.
That's a dinner I could eat again and again and again. I'd be 1,000 pounds, but I love fried chicken.
Brooklyn is always like that hidden jewel where you can find incredible places to eat. Hot dogs are the ultimate American comfort food. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and we grew up with that. Am I dating myself?
Bark Hot Dogs is this great new hot dog place with the resurgence of comfort food and is the brainchild of chef-owner Josh Sharkey.
Hot dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I love a good hot dog.
You take the first bite, the second bite, and before you know it, it's gone.
So you walk into Bark Hot Dogs and you look at the menu and you say, oh my God, how many hot dogs am I possibly going to be able to eat?
This is the NYC dog. Sweet and sour onions, a little bit of San Marzano tomato, some red vinegar, a little bit of mustard.
I'm a New York girl, so I'm all about like onions and mustard.
One of Josh's favorites is the Bark Dog. Sweet pepper relish, mustard, and onions.
My favorites are the chili cheese dog, short rib chili, and this crazy cheddar sauce. The cheddar bacon dog, so delicious.
I was a sous chef of a place called Cafe Gray. Before here, I was also at Boulet and a lot of other restaurants in New York. Pick up.
All over the country, you are seeing these chefs with tremendous resumes and this great pedigree. They are opening up hamburger and hot dog places.
You know, we are a fast food restaurant, but I think what sets us apart is we source out the best ingredient. We put a card on the table that tells you where every ingredient comes from.
The dairy, the beer, everything is meticulously sourced and really thoughtful, and that's humane. That's really kind to the customer.
Josh did all the legwork to find the best hot dog.
Apparently, he went around and he tasted thousands of different hot dogs and different sausage to find the one that would be suitable for Bark Dogs.
It took me almost 5 years.
They are getting all their dogs from this Austrian sausage maker in upstate New York.
So when you bite into a hot dog here at Bark, the first thing you're going to notice is the snap.
Gives a little and then goes snap.
Just sinks right into your teeth.
And then the meat has to have a lot of flavor.
Every hot dog that you have here in America, it's fillers. It's meat products that you have no idea where they came from.
What's in the mix? You know, is it a beef frankfurter or is it beef and pork?
Here at Bark, all we have is 3 ingredients: pork shoulder, pork jowl, and beef shoulder.
The hot dog is like the filet mignon of hot dogs.
It's so
like,
good.
And then we have the condiments. And I think that's really what really sets us apart.
Come on.
We make everything here. When I say everything, I mean everything.
He's making his own pickles, doing his own onion rings, making his own sauerkraut.
Okay, so this guy has a secret weapon, which is his Bark butter.
Shh, it might be a secret, but it really works. Now, I don't know what's in there, but it's really good.
And this is what makes the hot dogs unique. This is our Bark butter. Smoked lard, butter, sea salt, the last thing that goes on the dog before we put it on the bun.
What could honestly be better than taking pork fat and brushing it all over the hot dog?
The only thing he's not doing, which he should, is selling that stuff by the tubful.
I'd buy it.
I'd buy it.
So my favorite condiment at Bark hot dogs is the baked beans.
The baked beans at Bark Hot Dogs are truly spectacular.
He uses heirloom beans.
It's a really beautiful bean. It's got kind of a maroon color to it. Really holds up well to flavor, which is why we use it.
Puts in ketchup, mustard, onion, bacon, ham hock, all the things that you would want on top of your hot dog, but baked with the beans.
So we'll put it in the oven at 275 degrees for about 18 hours until they're nice and tender and they develop all that flavor. So slow and low is really the way you want to do this. And that's what makes these baked beans unique and different from other baked beans out there.
And then you pour that over the hot dog.
You know, you think baked beans, you could just, that's an off-the-rack item. Not here.
It's delicious. The baked beans are sweet and rich and smoky.
And you have the perfect combination.
Bark Hot Dogs is like the model of the hot dog stand of the 21st century.
This is the new generation of chefs.
You're seeing sort of the mind of a 4-star chef applied to a really simple comfort food.
I certainly hope that in the future we're going to have more Bark's Hot Dogs places around every corner because it's a long haul to Park Slope from Harlem.
Meatball Shop is New York City's brand new meatball mecca in the Lower East Side.
I'm not a mathematician, but that's a lot of balls.
Meatball Shop is New York City's brand new meatball mecca in the Lower East Side.
Daniel and Michael, who are the owners and chefs at this fabulous new location, came up with this really unique idea. Why not open a restaurant dedicated to meatballs?
We both had our head in our hands and we looked at each other and kind of almost at the same time we were like, meatballs.
Genius.
People come for miles for a great meatball.
I might have come up with that first.
I said meatballs and then he was kind of happy that I said it.
He was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Really?
If you didn't know any better, you could walk into this restaurant and just assume it was like a really classy bistro type of restaurant on the Lower East Side. And then you get the menu and it's like, dang, meatballs.
The menu at the Meatball Shop, I think, is one of the most unique parts of being there.
Mike and I were just tired of going to restaurants where the chef tells you what to eat.
You get a dry erase marker, you decide, I want the classic meatball with the spicy sauce, and then you get to decide whether you want your meatballs under or over something.
Vegetarian meatballs, beef meatballs, pork meatballs, spicy pork meatballs, chicken meatballs. I mean, it's like meatball-rific.
The whole point of the Meatball Shop is it's customizable.
They have rustic, homey sides, but sophisticated. So you have things like polenta and risotto and sauteed braised greens.
For me, it's just as much about the people that work here. Like, everybody's really cool and really friendly, and that, I think, is just as important as the fact that the food is really, really good.
Danielle and Michael, being childhood friends, collaborating on this incredibly successful business, I think it's the meatballs that hold them together.
Don't look at me like that, dude. The Dan's like staring at me, gazing in my eyes. We went to LaGuardia High School for the performing arts. Our mothers introduced us.
Daniel and Michael have this bond and this great energy.
We worked at a vegan restaurant on the Upper East Side as delivery boys.
One day they asked, Dan to jump in the kitchen, and then, the next week later they asked me to jump on the floor and as a busboy, and it's kind of been that way ever since. I've always been in the front. Dan's always been in the back.
After that, you're giving me another Hero White, yeah?
The cool thing about this chef, when he was 15, he was working at Le Bernardin, like 4-star French New York City restaurant.
Let's do it. Got 2 whole wheat here, 1 white and 1 whole wheat, yeah?
Daniel's a very sophisticated cook.
Beef, spicy, Prove white. Let's do it. Let me see it.
I thought that meatballs was a little bit downscale from what he can do.
You can imagine what his mother and grandmother are thinking, like, oh, Jimmy, why did you do the meatball thing?
I think his name is Daniel.
Daniel, I know.
My mother is down here every single day busting chops and telling me what's what.
Now looking back on it, you realize it was just an amazing decision.
1 side of spag tom, 1 risotto. You got 2 heroes, yeah? Thank you.
One of the unique meatballs at Meatball Shop is the Mediterranean lamb meatball. And the way it's made is with these beautiful chunks of lamb meat.
I use the lamb shoulder for the lamb meatballs.
That are put together with mint, parsley, big chunks of bread.
I guess the walnuts offer a nutty flavor, and the raisins are a little bit sweet. Everybody likes a little bit sweet. Should we grind?
of that goes through the meat grinder.
I think part of the fun of cooking is you get to play with food all day long.
And then into a bowl, mixed with eggs to bind it together, and then rolled by hand.
We are going through 2,000 meatballs on a busy day and 1,500 on a slow day.
They're roughly doing 225 pounds of meat a day.
I'm not a mathematician, but that's a lot of balls.
There are a couple of guys who run a meatball shop. You've got to expect that they're going to be ripping some ball jokes.
From my hands to your mouth.
It's joy in a little package.
Can we come up with more meatball jokes?
Balls.
Yep. Daniel.
Whatever word it goes by, albondiga in Spain, or fricadella in
Fricadella.
Every culture has a meatball.
Meatballs are comfort food because I think they are so familiar to everyone.
People love meatballs. They're lining up out the door till 4 a.m. for the meatballs.
Every time we've been there, they're there with the laptop open, like, you know, they're running a business.
Checking their Facebook page, too, I imagine.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Twittering.
We've always wanted to open a restaurant together. And, you know, the meatball shop
is a dream come true.
Is a dream come true, without a doubt.
This is a great place to get a unique eat.
Yep.
If you like meatballs.
If you like balls.
I'm constantly amazed about Shake Shack. People are willing to wait in line for an hour.
Madison Square Park is this beautiful green oasis in downtown Manhattan.
When you walk into Madison Square Park, 8 or 10 years ago, it was this abandoned, derelict park. But when you walk in now, you see this sort of like stainless steel lean-to and a line extending out from it.
And you're wondering, what's going on? Well, what's everybody clamoring about?
Shake Shack is one of the most popular burger stands in New York City.
I'm constantly amazed about Shake Shack. You know, people are willing to wait in line for an hour.
One of the reasons why Shake Shack is so unique is that they have one of the best burgers in the city.
You could use a Shack burger.
Danny Meyer is probably among the most successful restaurateurs of his generation.
Shake Shack is a modern-day version of the classic roadside shake stand. As much as the burgers were great and the frozen custards were wonderful and the French fries and root beer, it was really a place to hang with friends. When we first started to put together the menu for Shake Shack, we said, this is going to be pretty easy. It's just a hamburger joint. And it wasn't too much time thereafter that we found that simple is actually one of the hardest things in the world.
It's not just ground beef anymore. It's not just ground sirloin. You can actually custom blend different parts.
There's something like extra beefy about the burger. I don't know what it is. I think they're taking like chopped liver or the fat around the liver and grinding it into the mix.
We would take a little bit of this part of the cow, a little bit of that part of the cow, and we would blend them almost the way a winemaker blends a great Bordeaux.
With all good food, it's a nice blend of textures, flavors.
You really can't go wrong. You have any of the burgers, which are very juicy and perfectly cooked.
They all got the cheeseburgers, and of course we all had a milkshake. We liked the Shake Shack, didn't we? Did y'all like it? Very good.
I think at Shake Shack they really figured out what makes a great burger, right? It's not just the meat, it's not just the bun, but it's sort of the combination.
How can I help you?
Can I get a double Shack burger?
The Shack burger is really the burger itself. It's our secret Shack sauce, Roma tomatoes, a piece of lettuce, American cheese, and a potato bun.
A buttered and toasted potato roll is about as good as a hamburger bun as you can get.
The potato bun that we use for the Shack burger is a big secret to why it tastes so unique.
It's delicious with the cheese and the soft bun and the tomato and the lettuce and everything. I mean, it really is just like a perfectly soft, delicious burger. One of the best things about a traditional American meal, you have burgers, fries, and a milkshake. Well, Shake Shack has this thing called the concrete.
A concrete in the Shake Shack lexicon is basically ice cream.
Early on, we decided that the kind of ice cream that we wanted to have at Shake Shack would actually not be ice cream per se, but would be frozen custard.
Do they fold in stuff?
Yeah, I thought that was the whole part of the concrete. It's like the frozen custard is the ice cream. The concrete is when they take that ice.
Matrix is like the solid.
Are you talking over me?
Yes, that's part of the deal.
Okay.
I'm your older brother. Jeez.
If you want to make a concrete, you blend in solid mix-ins.
So you can get chunks of other sweet, delicious gourmet ingredients in there.
And you blend them in at a very, very high speed. And it's called a concrete because when you turn it upside down, it just stays put.
Concrete because the matrix of concrete is Portland cement, sand, and gravel. You've got your chocolate chips, your walnut nubbins, and the concrete is your ice cream.
That's PhD level.
What Shake Shack does uniquely well, in addition to having an incredibly delicious burger and wonderful frozen custard, it's unique in that it brings people together.
It's nothing formal. You don't sit down at a bar or anything. Eat your burger and fries and your shake outside in the beautiful weather.
Danny didn't invent the burger. He didn't invent the shake. But what he did invent is a way to put them together in a contemporary context. And that, I guess we should all be grateful.
Buttermilk Channel has the best fried chicken and waffles.
It's off the charts.
Carroll Gardens is another great neighborhood in Brooklyn that is well known for all of the new eateries that keep popping up.
People come from all over the world now to dine and eat in Brooklyn. And Buttermilk Channel was one of the first restaurants in Brooklyn that really got on the radar of the mainstream press.
Buttermilk Channel is actually named not for buttermilk, the product, which we love, but for some waterway off the coast of Brooklyn here.
Brooklyn farmers used to cross through to get to Manhattan to sell their milk. And the waters used to be rough enough that they would call it buttermilk because it would churn the milk into butter.
An absolutely must-have is Chef Ryan's take on fried chicken. It's really unique.
It's a buttermilk battered chicken that's been fried twice and served with a crispy cheddar waffle and a balsamic spiked maple syrup.
That's a dinner I could eat again and again and again. I'd be 1,000 pounds, but I love fried chicken.
The best fried chicken I've ever had.
It's off the charts. As Southern guys, we're very particular about our fried chicken, okay? We like it super crispy.
You want that flavor, that salt, and then you want to break in and have this like really juicy, meaty, tasty piece of chicken.
Chef Ryan, who runs the kitchen at Buttermilk Channel, is kind of quiet and shy.
I'm sorry, what was the question again? So we're making fried chicken and waffles. It's our take on a classic comfort food dish. The first thing we're going to start with is the chicken, which has been soaking in buttermilk for 24 hours.
You order the fried chicken, you get a half chicken, which is a huge portion of chicken.
We're going to fry it the first time for about 5 to 6 minutes until it turns about golden brown.
So the fried chicken gets, sort of like really good French fries, gets double fried.
Yeah.
Pull it out, let it rest for about 5 minutes while we make our waffle.
The cheddar waffle on its own may just be the best waffle I've ever had. It's crispy and it's cheesy.
You bite into that chicken and the juices run onto this cheddar waffle and mixes with coleslaw and balsamic vinegar and maple syrup. And there is nothing shy and nothing quiet about that.
It's a great place to take a date for dinner. It's a great place to go with friends. It's comfort food, only elevated. And Chef Ryan's just doing a great job with it.
I think comfort food right now is something that people gravitate towards, whether it's chefs or customers in restaurants. We all want to feel connected to the food that we're ordering and eating. And what more can we ask for?
I love, a little thigh and a little leg. Shake Shack!
We're the 300 Take Lee brothers.
Unique New York. Unique. That's like a classic thespian thing.
Get up, get up.